What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Full Credit to the Boys. Obviously, a really happy night right now. The Warriors are back in the winning seats, 28-16 over the West Tigers at home. And, a decent performance. I'd say, it's great to get back on the winning track and all that. Obviously, a lot to still fix up on. There's a lot of things that I will be talking about with you tonight, but at the end of the day, a nice win here, against the West Tigers. Again, hits the nail on the head with the score prediction, old Ash, 28-16. So shout out to the West Tigers. A lot of really good performance from them to bring them back into this sort of game, but fairly dominant performance from, within field position and stuff like that. I think the points on the board could have been a lot more for the Warriors, especially with that early part of our game. But shout out to everyone from the chat. If you guys are filtering over from our live stream a little bit earlier on, our watch along, thank you so much to everyone in that live chat before. You guys were absolutely incredible. And hopefully if you brought it all the way over here, I hope you guys enjoy the Full Credit to the Boys. And like and subscribe if it's your first time, as you guys are all jumping in the chat. So as you know, full credit to the boys, guys. We'll talk about my thoughts overall on the game. Go through a little bit of stats and stuff. I'll just go through my honest thoughts, and then we'll jump over to you guys, and we'll bounce off you guys in the chat and your thoughts overall on the game. So first of all, the Warriors. It's just good to see us get back on the winning track. As I said before, it could have been a losing game. The Tigers could have came over and really put it on us, and I thought we started really, really well. Our field position battle, we were winning every set. It was just felt like we were so dominant from the middle. We were just turning the ball over in really good field position, really getting through our defensive sets really, really well. And then cracked first of all 10 minutes in the game with Kurt Catewell crashing over. So that was a really, really good start for the boys. And this is where the game started to feel a little bit of, we were getting all the opportunities. We were right down the end, but the boys were just not really cracking the Tigers. And the Tigers, as we touched on before this game, not the best attacking outfit, especially out their field when they got Api Coruscant defending at 7 in this game and having to move to hooker. They got Latu Fanu out there, smaller body that I'm pretty sure missed a ton of tackles in this game. None to his fault. He tries to get his body in front, but just smaller body and still getting used to the contact, being such a young defender and young halfback. But I felt like the boys started to go really, really sideways really early on. Would have loved to see a little bit more direct football, especially when we were winning most of the game through the middle. I would have loved to say play a little bit more short through the middle, set up our attacking sets on either end, and just be a little bit more slick on both sides. But it ended up being the way that we end up finding a little bit of momentum there. 32 minutes with Ed Gossi crashing over. Great to see Ed have a decent game out there. Only one error from memory in this game, was pretty safe under the high ball. Defensively, I thought he was fairly strong as well. So shout out to Ed Gossi getting back on a positive track there with us. And then Ali Le'atoa just obliges there on the 37th minute. So we go bang, bang just before halftime. And we went into halftime with a 14-0 lead. So everything looked like, shiny rainbows and stuff. I still would have loved to see a lot more points, especially with the amount of momentum and field position we had. As I said, we absolutely dominated them in that first half, and we should have came away with a lot more points than what we did. And I felt like that was a little bit to the deficit of Tamati Martin and Shania Savita. I feel like they didn't click enough to what they had in those periods of, the Dolphins, the Panthers game, the Cowboys game. Our halves didn't really come together as what they usually are. Our left side attack looked fairly good on that side, I thought, in general. It's when we went right, and we're starting to figure out, obviously, Tomato Martin, the opposite of Sean Johnson. Shawnee loves to play on that right side edge, play short with Namarata near Cordair, play on that sort of look, where obviously Tomato Martin plays a lot of his better footy passing right to left. So obviously the left side's going to get a little bit more traction down that side. It's going to look a little bit more crispier. And that's what I saw in this game. And I felt like as soon as we went right, everything slowed down a little bit. I thought the Tigers numbered up really well on Roger Tuivasa-Sheck out the back of those set plays. And we just were unable to really dominate them down that side unless it was for individual brilliance. Like we had a moment there where Dallin almost got over, and that just all came from athletic ability from Dallin Watene-Zelezniak. Like it was barely any space down that side. Graham Telfer tried his best to really get on the outside of his center, draw and pass. Nearly happened, and he almost got there, probably about 30 centimeters, or, I'll say that's a pretty decent amount. It was a couple of centimeters away from the in-goal line. He put it outside of the post. So, that just kind of showed our first half, 14-0. To be honest, in my opinion, we should have came ahead probably about 24-0. Like the amount of opportunities we had, we should have came out with a little bit more chockies. But I don't want to be too much doom and gloom. We definitely did what we were supposed to do. Defensively, we played really, really well in that first half. I thought we were really, really strong in that area, which was really good to see. Kurt Capewell, obviously striking early. I thought he was really strong early on in this game. Probably, again, having one of his better games for us. I think this is 3 games in a row now that he's been really, really good for us. So shout out to Curtis Capewell. I know a lot of people were off him for a little period there. Now, moving into the second half. So as you guys know me, like the way I've grown up and known about football, and from what I hear from a lot of coaches, I think the most important parts of a football game, a lot of coaches will say, is 10 before halftime and 10 after halftime. So I thought we well and truly won that 10 before halftime battle. I thought we were really good going into halftime. The game shifted a little bit in that first 10 back after that halftime. And that's when the Tigers struck just outside that 10-minute mark. Isaiah Papali'i with that 51st minute. I felt like this coincided a little bit with Adam Fanor-Blake coming off the field because he was an absolute juggernaut in that first half. Absolutely incredible performance and ads. And we'll touch on him a little bit more, especially with my criticism for him about that mid to late part of that season there, thinking that he had one foot outside the door. In this game, he really showed that he's changed that mentality, and he really showed he wanted to lead it from the front. So he played really amazing, and we'll touch on him a little bit more later on. But I thought that the Tigers had a little bit of momentum there. They go bang, bang. They get 2 tries there. Isaiah Papali'i, Charlie Staines. The Charlie Staines try, obviously, for me, that come off broken play. The set restart, they got him to field position there. Shouldn't have happened. Obviously, they got the kick in behind that end up coming off of Kurt Capewell. They get the ball back. Just some really nice play there from Dream Buller. Defensively, that's really hard to defend at times. I felt like the thing that we really needed to stop in that moment was those 6 again calls and stuff like that, which were really, really poor in that little moment there. And that's where the Tigers found momentum. Shout out to Isaiah Papali'i, as I said before, scored in that 51st minute. I thought he was incredible for the Tigers, especially off the bench. As the story always goes against all these boys that come up against our Warriors from New Zealand or used to play for the Warriors, they always have 10 out of 10 games. Well, I wouldn't say 10 out of 10 games, but have some of their best games against us. Jerome Hughes, like Kiwi boy that just loves to play against the Warriors. Big Nelson, again, another one of those boys that just love to play against the Warriors. Isaiah Papali'i, another one to add to that list. Like, there's so many other boys that just have monster games against us, being Kiwi, and he was definitely one of them. As we saw from the shot he put on Graham Telfer, incredible little moment there. And I felt like the Tigers got a lot of momentum from this little period there. But this is when we shifted the game back in our favor. This is when our defensive sets and our system works, is when we can get down the other end, pin the Tigers down to their own end and make them make silly decisions from both their halves. I think the first one that happened where I think Latu Fainu put out a really silly kick in there and we started to change momentum. I think that's what ended up causing the Adam Fanor-Blake try. I think we had a really good set on that line. And then again, we started to really click it back over. We started to really play front foot footy. Adam Fanor-Blake, it was a great change from Webby, probably holding him out from that little period and chucking him back out there to spark him to the end of the game. So shout out to Webby. I thought his interchange was really solid in this game. And yeah, we end up, getting ahead. We got a little bit more momentum from that. There was a period where the Tigers, straight after that one, they started to find a little bit of field position. That moment there where the kick from Api Coruscant pretty much bounced straight into Roger Tuivasa-Sheck's hands, and bang, he breaks the game open again. Beautiful game for Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. I feel like his positioning in defense was absolutely incredible this game. It was pointed out by a number of you guys in the chat too. I thought he was really, really, really solid, especially out back. And it went back to very much of Roger Tuivasa-Sheck in the past, which is really, really good to see. And then obviously, Roger makes those, I think it was about 4 or 5 tackle breaks, bang, bang, bang. He had the in and out on poor Lockie Galvin, who had an incredible game, I thought, other than the late moment where he tried to drag the Tigers off the canvas and really get it back on the front foot. He beat those guys. And then the boys shifted early, and shout out to Graham Talfar, played that amazingly. Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, first of all, to get on the outside of Samuel Afanu, a makeshift center having to defend there due to Luke Laulili, unfortunately going out with the HIA. And Graham Talfar down the sideline, a couple of tackle breaks back on the inside to Dallin Watene-Zelezniak, and that was all she wrote. We end up getting the win there, and a late little consolation try there for the Tigers due to a couple of things not really going our way, obviously. A couple of, I think, a penalty late, and then the 6 again. I think the penalty came from, I thought Freddie Lussick got back to his line in behind that line and then jumped out and tackled the hooker. I didn't think that was a penalty, but it is what it is. End up causing my score prediction to go picture perfect there with 28-16. So just before I jump over to you guys in the chat, because you guys are going absolutely mental there, and I've been unable to actually go back and really pull you guys up there, but we're just going to go through the stats of the game and show the dominance that we had, especially on the stats side of things in the game, and then run over to your thoughts in this game overall. I'll go through individual stats as well. So the possession ended up swaying way back into the favor of the Tigers to be 50-50. There was a moment there where we ended up having about 65 to around that sort of range. We had a lot of dominant possession early on in this game. I think that little moment in that second half swayed it back to the Tigers to bring it back into the contest. And then late in the game, when they ended up having a couple of sets on our line and ended up cracking us with Api Coruscant. The completion rate was a little bit off tonight, 77%. As I did touch on before, I felt like our attack wasn't as crispy tonight. Usually it's fairly good with Tamati Martin and all that there. Obviously, the really nice pass he put on for Ali Lautoa, that's what he does really, really well. Plays really deep, and he could have those late little passes on the line. I thought he did that amazingly. But a lot of the rest of the else of the game, I felt like our shape wasn't really on in this game. And usually I feel like that may have come down to, obviously, we still have a lot of changes in our lineup due to injury. And I was really worried we're going to have a lot of more injury in this game. I thought I saw Dylan Walker go down with injury, but he played through. Wade Egan, a couple of more head knocks in that game. He played through. So yeah, it was one of those ones. All overall runs, 887 runs for 1,792 run meters, guys. So that's a really solid effort from the boys comparatively to the Tigers of 1,300. So a very dominant performance there from the boys, getting into good field position. Post-contact meters in our favor. 9 line breaks to 5 to the Warriors. Really good efforts there from the boys there. 41 tackle breaks to 29. So we were breaking a lot of tackles, just unable to put them into points. That was the biggest thing. We probably should have brought them out by 40, in my opinion. Then going to the defensive end, fairly similar here. Obviously, the missed tackle is obviously on the Tiger side, 41 missed tackles to 29 to ours. And then errors, 10 to 12. We had a little bit of better the error rate there, but not too far off. Penalties conceded, 4 to 4. Ruck infringements, 4 to 4. Inside the 10, we got a little bit more there. And 3 reports there going the Tigers' way. Now, lastly, before I jump over to you guys, I will go through a couple of the players I thought played absolutely amazing this one. And none more for me, the MVP for me, Addin Fonua-Blake. He was an absolute monster in this game. And this is NRL.com stats, guys. They're a little bit different to Fox League stats, but 225 run meters. Incredible there. Only 30 off the kick return meters. I think that's usually off the kickoff and stuff. And then a post-contact meters of 89. 2 line breaks there. Obviously, a try to go with that as well. And 6 tackle breaks from big Addin Fonua-Blake. And then defensively to get through 21 tackles with no misses. Statistically, an absolute phenom in this game. And as I said, I'll put my hands up. I question Addin Fonua-Blake's commitment to the side through that period, the Titans game and all that. And I feel like I was on sort of the right track there, but definitely egg on my face now. He's definitely stepped up in these moments, been a lot more of a leader in this moment, especially in this game. And hopefully If he can play like that consistently, especially off the back of Mitch Barnett and the other boys that we have, we should win more games than not towards the run home. We need games like that from Adam Fanua-Blake to make a massive run home for the 8. And this is what, this is why Adam Fanua-Blake has been considered one of the best props in the league. And I thought he was on one tonight. He was incredible. Shout out to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. These are his stats: 293 run meters, 118 off kick return meters, 52 post contact meters, 1 tackle break, 1 line break, 6 tackle breaks, 6 tackles, 1 miss. But his defensive work there, his positioning and defense, saved 2 big tries. He saved 3 tries, really. I think he made that last-ditch tackle on Charlie Staines too. That made a nice little line break in there. Massive, massive performance there from Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. Unfortunately, not coming away with the try, but still an incredible performance from him. Dallin Watene-Lesniak, I thought he was solid all game here. 200 meters, 48 post-contact meters. Obviously, the line break assist there. 8 tackle breaks. Massive, massive game from him, in my opinion. Moving down some of the other boys, shout out to Ali Leotoa, 116 run meters, amazing game from him. 2 line breaks, 1 line break assist. Again, with the nice 3 tackle breaks from him. Graham Tulfa, very similar stats from him, 111 meters, 19 post contact, 1 line break. Really solid game from him. Ed Gossi, 123. Solid work from him as well. And shout out to Mitch Barnett, 138 run meters there, 47 post contact. Really solid effort from him. 1 tackle break, just got through a captain's knock of work. 36 tackles with no misses. Really solid effort there from our captain in the middle. And the one thing I pointed out in the stream, what I loved about Mitch Barnett was the way he was talking to the referee as well. There was a moment there where I felt like, I think Dylan Walker was wanting a sin bin for the action where I think we made the big line break and we were finding a way on the line. But anyway, and he kind of pushed Dylan Walker away, and he was like pretty much like he spoke to the ref with a ton of respect, which a lot of people don't associate with Mitch Barnett. Obviously, he's a human being. He's a respectful man, all that. But like usually he's a firecracker, right? That's why everyone puts on Mitch Barnett. But respectfully talking to the referee, there was a moment after a try, he had a moment talking to the referee, and you heard the referee say, "Yeah, thank you, mate. Like, I appreciate ya." Like, it just shows that he's got really good skills under high pressure moments and just talking to the referee the right way. He didn't push his limits too much, and that's what's going to win his penalty counts more so than not. Whether you like that part of the game, that's a very smart and good thing for a captain to do. So shout out to Mitch Barnett. I thought he was incredible in most areas of this game. Shout out to Dylan Walker too. 157 run meters in this game. A really solid effort for him in the middle. So hopefully I've covered all the guys for you guys. Shout out to the West Tigers before I move on to you guys in the chat. I want a massive shout out to Lockie Galvin. I thought he was incredible in this game for a losing side. 106 run meters, had created a lot of big moments. A couple of really nice damaging kicks that Roger had to really get back and really cover on. So he picked his moments really well. His footy IQ's top notch. Also, shout out to Api Coruscant. Incredible performance. He was unreal in this game. For him to score that try late in this game, he was doing the attacking set on the right side, had to run to the left side to score that try. Great work from him. Also, Isaiah Papali'i. I thought he was incredible in this game. So that's the last ones I'll talk about. The Tigers. Shout out to the Tigers. Very valiant sort of effort to get back in this game to 28-16, where they looked like they were dead and gone. They weren't really rolling for their sets too well. I feel like they got into good field position due to maybe 6 agains and penalties off the back of our ill discipline. And that's just football. That happens. But they had the strike, and they did 3 times to our 5. So well done to those guys there. All right, guys, so moving on to you guys in the chat. Chuck us in the chat down below your thoughts overall in the game. Any questions you want to throw out to me? And also just, general chat. We'll go back and forth for a little bit. As I said, it's not going to be a massive episode of Full Credits. The boys probably going to stick this out to about the 35 to 40 mark. I got the missus, my little sister's little girl over tonight. So I can't be on for anywhere crazy for you guys. But appreciate all you guys coming through. 46 people viewing in the chat. Love it. Love it. Yeah. Favorite camera angle to support Walker infringement. Dorothy Wilson, Lecca got pulled early. No, I think that was just a normal change. What you got to think is Lecca played big minutes in those other games due to injury. He wasn't meant to play a lot of these minutes. Lek is an incredible talent, but we can't play him for, like, you know, he's still young, you know, easing into football, 9 minutes in this game. I think it was just the moments in the game started to shift back into the Tigers' favor, and I think we just needed our starting unit to finish out the game. So I thought he was, well, 9 minutes didn't really show a lot, but I thought defensively he had some nice moments there too, cover tackles and stuff. You know, 4 tackles, no miss there, so he didn't really do anything wrong. That's just in my opinion. He didn't really get a lot of ball either, but he is a rookie. He's not going to play 80 minutes every game. He's not going to play 60. He's not going to do that. That's just what it is. 4-6-2 Storms. Oh, yo, did Parra get ahead early? Interesting. Can't stand Blocky's commentary. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I only had slight commentary on, so I could, like, you know, with the penalty calls and that, I can really commentate to you guys really well on the live stream. But again, yeah, I pull my hair out a lot of the time. Like, the one thing, he calls everything really early when he doesn't watch the replay of it, and then it ends up turning to the opposite way. He's done it so many times, but it just always seems to come out with us. I try and go back to the chat to see if you guys got any comments really going on here. Jacko here. Barnett has grown out of his firecracker days. Hopefully he's captain next year. Yeah, agreed. He's incredible. And I do believe that he'll probably end up maybe being captain next year. Depending on Tohu and that, I think that we probably should look at, you know, Barnett being captain. He was incredible, bro. He's incredible. Benji, I'd rather see RTS to the wing, CNK at fullback, both swapping during games, the stage of the games, Manu CNK like they did for the Kiwis. Yeah, that could be a really good option, bro. And, like, you know, I'll pull my hands up. I still was like, oh, I would love to see Roger just continue to try at center, but, you know, let's be real, like, probably kick returns and all that. Yeah, Roger feasts in that area, and it's really showing now. Like, I was wrong. He's definitely a lot better out the back in that. So yeah, I'll put my hands up. You guys were definitely right there, and it's going to be tough, obviously, because we're going to have to probably drop Montoya. And I've loved Montoya, especially for his energy and the way he gets around a group. Like, that's my big thing with Montoya. He seems like such a group player. Like, he gets everyone together, up and rolled. So, but if we need to move to the future, I think players like Roger Tuivasa-Sheck and Dallin Martinez-Lesniak as our wingers is like top quality wingers. And I think this is what we've kind of been dying for as well. Dorothy, I thought our middles were solid. Barnett is bees. Adam Finnell-Blake doing Adam Finnell-Blake things. Yeah, 100%. Walker pace was immense. Yeah, Walker was really good. His footy IQ was fairly on tonight. He did dummy and go when he needed to, passed out of back when he needed to. So shout out to those guys. Like, he's definitely upscaled our attack, playing front foot footy, and his foot speed for the middles is incredible, and his footy IQ is unreal. Jacko here. RTS saved at least 4 tries tonight. Here's a leak and our best fullback. Again, like, I'd probably say, like, CNK for me is our fullback, but, like, I probably agree with you. Like, he'd probably be our best fullback by, like, potential-wise, like, right? But, like, our best lineup for me is still CNK at fullback and Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the wing. Because I've seen CNK save a ton of tries as well, especially one-on-one efforts. We do remember last year was that KP effort against the Knights, stuff like that. If we can have both those guys play at a high level, I think that boosts up our side than having Roger Tuivasa-Sheck playing at fullback and then having Chanel probably playing at center. I don't like Chauncey at center. I just don't like that look. Montoya is a huge hype man for the boys, brings a lot of energy. Yep, 100%. Jazzy, you weren't wrong, Ash. There simply wasn't enough time or opportunity to give an RTS to prove himself as center due to many factors. Yeah, I kind of agree with that point, my bro. But yeah, like, I got to pull my hands up too. Like, you guys are definitely seeing some things that I probably wasn't, like, I was probably not giving enough credit to, you know what I mean? And again, he showed it in this game tonight. Like, his work out of the back end is, like, unreal, second to none. And so he probably does that more so than what Montoya can do. And I think defensively on that edge, he'll probably help out a lot because I think defensively he holds in an edge so well. So him at wing would be very interesting and possibly could have done that earlier on the season, but it is what it is. Talking in hindsight, that's just, you know, it is what it is. OG Thunder, should it be worried about Egan's tackle technique? Pretty sure he closes his eyes a few moments, frame too early. I can't really question too much on, like, the closing of your eyes because, like, that just happens, bro. Like, you know, when you start looking at frame by frame, like, you look at boxers and a lot of boxers will say they open their eyes and they keep their eyes open through boxing fights, and it doesn't really happen. You see them get into contact with punches and stuff, they close their eyes. Like, it happens. But his tackle tech definitely does need to change in a way of, like, him probably getting his head in better positions, probably tying in a little bit tighter. But also, like, yeah, I got to credit him because he gets his body in front. He does those sort of parts right. But yeah, it's probably his tie-ins probably going to get a little bit tighter, maybe hitting some different levels. And when you see the opposite of Freddie Lussick, that does a really nice technique of getting in under the ball. He ties in really tight, gets his ear in tight. Like, those are the things that probably Wado needs to fix up on, especially when the head knocks come into his game, because there's a lot of head knocks that just come into his game. So a lot of that does happen from when someone's like probably not tying in tight enough, and the whiplash action of the tackle bounces the head into the action. That's where the head knocks sort of come. So probably something he needs to work on. No hooker, no players, they're perfect. So definitely an effort area he needs to work on for sure. Jacka here, I want to see NK at fullback, but tonight made me rethink. Again, bro, like, we can't go just off one game. Like, we can't be reactive. We can't be reactive. But, I agree with you, as in the fact of potentially Roger Tuivasa-Sheck is our better fullback on potential, right? But, like, as a team unit, Chanel Harris, CNK out back is better. And then Roger on the wing, for me, is better than having Roger at fullback and having Chauncey play in the center as a 6, as a fullback. It just doesn't suit him for me. Like, played good at 6 against the Panthers, 100%. But our first choice 6 is Luke Metcalf. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like, injuries have kind of got us to this level now. Jazzy, I think RTS at center only works if he fully roams. Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I thought he roamed fairly well in the games to try and get himself in the game, but whether you're talking about when we're in attacking positions and swaying to opposite end of the fields and creating extra numbers, I just don't think our system works like that. Like, when you look at the Roosters that have a very one off the ruck sort of system, they play off the half straight off the ruck. They play, you know, left and right, just a bit everywhere, where our system is very systematic to where our fullback sits on our right side or left side, and they sit there no matter what. And our 6 becomes our second fullback look. And that's due to having Luke Metcalf at the club. And that's a better system that we run Luke Metcalf in my opinion. So I think that's really what's happened there. But I agreed that would open up RTS's game so much more. Dorothy, I reckon for next year, shift Dallin to the left and Rog back on his preferred side of right. Yeah. I don't know if Dal, because like everything I've seen of Dal on that left edge, obviously, you know, the flamboyancy he has in the corner, like getting himself in that left hand, probably a bit more. I don't know if he's ambidextrous to do that on the right-hand side. So you're taking away probably one of the better parts of Dallin's game. So for me, Roger can still use his left foot step from that opposite side of the wing. But yeah, possibly. Yeah, I think with time, RTS could be Jacko. Again, I'll still stick on that point. But like CNK for me, I've seen enough of CNK at center that I just don't like him there, to be honest. What was it? What we got here? RTS also led in 2 tries. Trying to think, what 2 tries are you thinking about? Are you thinking about last game with the Raiders? Because in this game, from memory, Isaiah Papali'i was off a front line. I think the front line shifted early and just left a gap. Charlie Staines came off a second effort, which a fullback, you know, they get themselves caught out in those ones all the time. We can't help that. Api Coruscant, the last one, again, that was so close to the line, I can't see that. So yeah, I don't know off the top of my head, unless you're talking about the Raiders game, where he allowed that try to happen with Xavier Savage instead of taking it out. But yeah, maybe. Chris O, yep. CNK has better ball skills and is bloody hard. Yeah, agreed, Chris O. I think they're just 2 different. They're similar in certain ways, but are different in other ways. Like, I think CNK is definitely a better option for our shifts out the back, because he's just got those nice hands from left to right. Roger's definitely just a runner of the football. So that's why probably winger is probably his, like, you know, he'd be an amazing winger as well. So yeah, agreed. OG Thunder, no wrong answers. Barry, CNK, so I'm going to center combination for me. For me, when everyone's back and healthy, I probably would go either Barry or Ali, because I love Ali there, or Barry and Bumpy, and then have CNK out fullback, Roger Tuivasa-Sheck on the wing. I've come around to that now. I have. I still would love to see Monty out there. I love Monty, but again, I agree. Like, Monty's probably potential-wise of our team getting to the next level. RTS is probably best to be on the wing. Tahi, look at the attacking patterns last year. It was just injury year. Yeah, exactly, bro. That's just what it is. Like, we've had that many different combinations this year. I've made multiple videos on it. As I said, like, you know, even when it comes down to Chanel Harris-Tavita, we touched on it in the game. I feel for him as a kicker there, you know, with goal kicking. Did well, 3 out of 5 in tonight, but obviously the 2 ones on the left-hand side of the field, his worst side on the left-hand kick. But he's our 5th choice kicker. Like, has anyone thought, like, we came into the season, Shawnee had a groin injury that caused Luke Metcalf to be our first kicker. And then the Achilles injury and all that, but then Shawnee became our kicker again. And then we went from him to either Bumpy or Tane Chuapiki before that, but Bumpy maybe first, then Tane Chuapiki against the Panthers. And then we went back to, from memory, Bumpy. And now we're in Chanel Harris-Tavita. So that just shows in that sort of side of things, that's the difference of goal kickers. And then think about different combinations. Like, we've come down to a point where we even had Paulie Roach there starting at number 9. That's our 3rd choice hooker, you know, playing there with our, like, you know, probably our 3rd or 4th choice different halves pairing. So it's just been one of those years, to be honest. But again, it's been disappointing from us too, because I'd still say the names that were on those pieces of paper, even though combinations weren't there, like, still probably should have edged out wins in a lot of games there too. So it has been disappointing, but like, for me, yeah, injuries have definitely hampered us this season. Oh, the Eels got up there, Just K's 8-6. Interesting. I'll have to go watch that soon. Jazzy, good to see you. Ali and MGT for the centers. Yeah, I can't go away from Rocco yet. Like, I think Rocco's been missed a little bit. Like, I think MGT was incredible defensively tonight too. But like, I think for me, Rocco's still my first option. MGT has showed a lot of ability though, and he could be knocking the door down soon. But yeah, showing some of the ability we have, some of our younger boys, like, we're in good hands for the future for sure. Rocco, Ali, yep. MGT is back up. Yeah, agreed. Dorothy Wilson, definitely agree. CNK has superior hands. He's able to straighten up defenses. Yeah, and a lot of that comes from the inside too. Like, I did feel like tonight when we went right side shift, we weren't trying to knock the door down with Murata Niakore early, especially getting up with like Lockie Galvin and that. We did it a couple of times, and I thought Murata played really well in behind the ruck. But a lot of those sort of things, like, try to stunt the defensive line from sliding early. And the reason, like, we didn't go to it, like, and we were playing out the back, they're just going to play off the back to Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. So it didn't really help on that right-hand side shift. But again, like, Tamati Martin's probably got to look up a little bit more and probably play that first option a little bit more, dummy and go himself, really create that running option, which he was doing really well on the opposite side. So that's just a learning game for him, but he will get better at that. I'm going to change my handle name to Chris. Yeah, Chrissy boy. Love it. That one fella. It's so annoying to have a season basically ruined by injuries. Yeah, it just happens in football though, bro. It really does. Like, you know, the Broncos fans will always be complaining by just losing to, you know, Adam Reynolds for the whole season. Like, if you look at our casualty ward, like, you look at the Rabbits too. The Rabbits, to be fair, have been ravaged by injury as well this season. And that's like kind of why they went on a poor run early, even though like they had some decent players there that were playing poor early on in the season. But yeah, it happens sometimes. And there's a lot of learning that comes from these moments though too. So there's positives in all this that we're going to get better from this, especially in the long run. Like, we got the perfect coach for me at the moment. Like, he's ticking all the boxes. He's learning from his lessons, which I believe anyway. And our system's perfect for the squad that we have. It's just, if we play everyone's healthy, ready to go. We learn the lessons of this year. We're definitely a lot better for it next year, especially with Fisher Harris coming. We're going to play a lot more of a defensive system. So I hope you guys are ready for that. But that's exactly what changed momentum in the game. And that's what helped us in this game, is when we started locking defensively. That's what happens. So yeah. Jacka here. Metcalf and SJ injuries cruelled the season. What the club goes, well, losing to best half. Yeah, exactly. Like, you look at the Broncos, as I said before, they lost Adam Reynolds. It's the only, like, the big half that they lost the majority of the season. And look how far they fell off the pace. And then as soon as he comes back into the lineup, fully healthy, well, not fully healthy, probably 70 to 80%, but he was ready to go. And they've found their way back firing. So it's just been one of those seasons. It still, like, shouldn't be an excuse. I feel like the boys that we still have probably still should be fighting around the 8. But there's a lot more of, like, combinations and stuff to where this is the reason why we are where we are, to be honest. I disagree, lol, but that's a great, good problem to have. Just wish we could say the same thing about our forwards. I think that might be due to our center chat. Yeah. 2,000. Killer Mozilla, my man. Appreciate you. Jesus. That's a good win for you, my brother. Enjoy your weekend, man. Enjoy your weekend. Hopefully. I wonder what odds we are to make the 8. I'm sure we'll be probably about 15s, maybe 20s. Could be good to get on. You know, if we go on a big run, we could be there. I think we could surprise them, but I'm still holding out hope, to be honest. Yep. Melbourne choking against Para. This was a game that worried me about Melbourne. It was more of the fact of they've won so many games. Usually in the competition, you're due to drop one, and it's the NRL. It's a tight competition. Like, it just happens. So yeah, it's crazy though. Against the Parramatta Eels with no Moses, different. Yeah, and that's another thing. Yeah, bellyache will definitely correct some things in the halftime. That one fella, good to see you again, my bro. They wonder why we make errors and when some of the boys have basically no opportunity to train together. Exactly, bro. Yep, playing together, that's how you build combinations. That's how you build the ball sticking with each other. Like, that's exactly it, bro. Like, that's the biggest thing for our season. We can't build our attacking sets due to the amount of different changes we had for our squad. We try to fix different issues during this season as well. It just has been one of those seasons. So, yeah. For real, lots of those blaming Webby as well to me. They normally give some cookie cutter advice like move Roger to Vashek, expecting to fix everything. Yeah, and like, you know, a lot of like the moments that we lost this year, the games that we lost year, we lost it through the middle to start with, and then everything else fell apart at the end of it. You know what I mean? In my opinion, like defensively through the middle, we've been somewhat frail in moments. We've lost the ruck, and then off the back of our edge defense got like a bit lacking there. One move's never going to change anything. And that's why I don't like a lot of changes inside. Like, I just look at like majority of sports around the world, like not many good sides change a lot of things and things go well from them. Usually when you start chopping and changing a lot, that's when you know that you're in trouble. Think of it like a football game, right? As soon as you start shooting for 40-20s, you're really showing that you're trying to high risk, high reward to get yourself back into it. Sometimes it will happen, sometimes it won't. And when it won't, you give up field position. When it does, you probably win that game. You know what I mean? Like, it's high risk, high rewards sort of stuff, chopping and changing. You also lose combinations. There's so many different things. It's a team sport. That's what people got to remember. Individuals don't change things. It's a team that comes together, and that's what wins premierships. And it's the Panthers. It's teams like that. That's really what it is. Chriso, yeah, on the coach, he just needs more time. He has learned this season that just because it worked last year, don't mean it worked. Yep. Still feels like 100%. He feels a lot like our Cleary. Yeah. People remember, like, you know, our run with Cleary was fairly up and down for moments. You know, that 2008 season, we had a solid squad. I think it did go okay. And in 2009, 10 didn't go away. 2011 went our way. Like, it's very up and down sometimes. I felt like we've been fairly sturdy under Webby. I know we've had losing season this season, but with a couple of more wins, we changed that a little bit. We've had a lot of injuries. He's had a lot of learning. I agree. He does need time, but he's shown a lot of good things that will build into a great coach for the future. So hopefully hold on to that and doesn't become our Ivan Cleary that we'd lost early on. You know what I mean? So that's just my thoughts. Jackie here, as long as we don't finish bottom 4 is all we can hope for. We won tonight, but to win all games is going to be a miracle. Yeah, it's going to be an uphill battle, my bro, but I still believe in the squad that we have there. Like, when you got Adam Fanor-Blake running like the way he did, like, it'd be crazy for him to do that consistently every game. But, you know, if we have that level of commitment from all the boys there, like, who's to say that we can't pull off a miracle? But, yeah. I'm probably going to start ending it off there, guys. You got any more questions for me, guys? I'll leave you with a couple more minutes to chuck in your questions before we go. Eels, Melbourne Storm game. Gee, yeah. Melbourne 12. They brought it back. Good to see. I doubt that would be make or break for Webby because there's basically no option B. I agree. There's not really much good options there on the coaching market, and we can't reasonably expect institutional changes from coaching in the last 3 years if they let him go. Yep. Jacko here. Cleary had John Hart helping him mentally with the pressure. Yeah. And to be fair, like, you know, I know for me, I look back at that change of like letting Cleary go and go, fuck, like I wish we kept him or whatever. But that's more so in hindsight now. I felt like, you know, maybe for Cleary's coaching career, it was probably better for him to leave too, like, and to really grow in different areas. And then coming into a system like Penrith, where Phil Guild probably grew that system of a development system all the way up to where he benefited from it. And then his systems playing off the back of that just created an amazing outfit. So a lot of things had to coincide there. Who was to say if we kept Cleary that he would have been up and down as well, which is the way we were going throughout majority of our seasons. Just the thing with Webby, I just feel, I know this season has gone the way it has, but I don't know. He just makes me feel calm as a Warriors fan. Like he makes me feel like I can come into games and still feel optimistic. You know what I mean? There's been a couple of years there during COVID and stuff, probably our worst years too, where I've come into the games and I've not been very optimistic. There's been games obviously where I'm like, if we click, we're going to be guns, but like there's more times than not, we didn't click. So, but yeah. Tahi bro, watching James Maloney talk about preparing for teams, he said you basically knew what you were up against and just focus on your team's ability, slowing, twining, yep, and by through the season. Yeah, exactly. That's what the Panthers do. They focus on themselves so much to where they became unbeatable because they're so confident in their own ability, you know what I mean? They don't play like a crazy, their brand of footy is incredible because of the way they play their brand of footy. Their footy is so simple, but they play it so well, it's unbeatable. You know what I mean? The best way I can really describe it is, again, I bring up to soccer. You watch Manchester City with Pep Guardiola. I know they have like some of the best players in the world there too, but his system is so simple, but intricate as well in a way, but they play it so well to where it's unstoppable. And that's what's caused the 4 in a row over there in England and soccer. Very similar there with Nathan Cleary and the Penrith Ivan Cleary and the Penrith Panthers. So that's just my thoughts. Yeah, and can't do that with injuries. Yep. Depends on where we finish. Ways up and down the ladder. Yeah, next year. Yeah, it could be a big year for Webby next year if we find ourselves back in sort of this position again. But again, I think we've got to look at performances too, and you know the way the systems are growing from beneath, and like hopefully again we don't find ourselves in a similar position because I think we are a better team than what we are. Like I think definitely we are. But yeah, there's a lot of things that go into it and there's context to everything. So, all right, guys, I might end it off there. Thank you, Chriso, for coming through. Thank you, Jazzy, Just K's, all you guys, Jacko here. Appreciate every single one of you guys. Appreciate all you turning up to the watch along as well. If you haven't got to check that out, guys, that's a beautiful thing about YouTube. You can go recheck it out on WUTV or Ash Thomas on YouTube. Again, with this show too, guys, you missed out on this. You rolled up just a little bit late. Go check it out on YouTube as well. It'll be up there. Give us a like and subscribe if you enjoy it. You guys are absolutely incredible. You know, it helps me grow as a person doing this every week, grow as a commentator too with the watch alongs. Hopefully you guys enjoy that a little bit. But you guys are absolutely amazing. Cheer, Ash, appreciate you, OG. Tahi, thank you so much, my man. And Jazzy, again, appreciate you. All you guys coming through and always consistently being there, chatting with me back and forth about the Warriors. And hopefully you guys enjoyed tonight. A nice win from the Warriors, 28-16. We can't just live it here though. We got the Parramatta Eels next week. Hopefully come into that game a little bit more confident, get another win under our belt and start to get a roll on for the end of the season. I still think we have a chance, guys. I'm still going to hold out hope until all hope is gone. But let's get behind the boys, huh? Up the Warriors, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Such a good weekend, obviously, with the Warriors winning. And also, lastly, before I go, if you're over in Australia, grilled burgers over here. I don't know if New Zealand have that same sort of deal, but it's so good when your team wins. You get a free grilled burger. So that will be me coming into this week. So I will definitely enjoy that. Appreciate you guys. Hopefully, I'll get more content up on Ash Thomas on YouTube, guys, if you're jumping on from there. But lastly, guys, enjoy your weekend again. Up the Warriors. A beautiful win from the boys. Take it easy, guys. Enjoy your weekend. Laters.